you a general view of accepted industry guidelines for handling, controlling, revising, correcting documentation, records, and forms. Okay, so in your industries, in your jobs, you probably have come across lots of different types of documentation, some of them being labels, specification and testing procedures, master formula instructions, batch processing and batch packaging records, standard operating procedures, other records such as stock control and distribution records, and many, many other documents. Okay, photographs can also be a document and part of an identification, provided they are properly authorized and controlled. Okay, another type of documentation are flow charts. They give a lot of good process flow information at a glance. Some more documentation are overlays for buildings, blueprints for additions and clean rooms that give a good display of buildings and facilities and the layout of equipment. Okay, we're going to talk about some general principles of good documentation practices. One of the basic tenets of a quality management system is good documentation. Should exist for all aspects of GMP. One of the purposes of documentation is to define specifications, procedures for all materials and methods of manufacture control. They ensure all personnel know what to do, when to do it, that things are done consistently based on a revised and controlled document, and they ensure that authorized persons have all the information necessary for the release of product. Okay, more about some purposes of documentation. They ensure that there's documented evidence, traceability, provide records and audit trail for investigations, for CAPAs, OOS investigations, and lay the boundaries and frameworks for validation, for review of statistical analysis. Okay, design and use depends on the manufacturer. Sometimes documents can be combined into one, sometimes they're separate. Okay, just a little pictorial here, using a document for instructions. When attempting a task, most of us need some sort of documentation for guidance and instruction. You've all received instructions for putting something together, for example, a piece of IKEA furniture, or some other desk or something you've bought. Okay, and if the drawing's wrong, it doesn't come out so well. So you can see where good documentation shows us the framework for a task and for following instructions correctly. Okay, some more documentation you've probably seen in your industries. Okay, why is document so important? Okay, one of the reasons is communication. You want to be able to communicate an approved format, set of instructions, instrumentation, data to everyone consistently, okay, to reduce costs. And one of the most important things that the FDA likes to say documentation is for an audit trail. Just to show, in the future that if you want to go back and see why a process failed or there was a product failure, you have documented evidence that something took place. Okay, some general principles here about, so documents should be designed, prepared, reviewed, and distributed with care. Okay, they should comply with all quality assurance requirements in your organization. And the design of documentation is very, very important. Okay, how you have documentations laid out in your quality manual or your basic structure for SOPs is very, very